Alright, well, to start, I found this puzzle game called Mr. White's Agency. It says Mr. White's Agency is a detective story quest inspired by the Ace Attorney game and Agatha Christie's, I don't know how to pronounce that, book series. Exploring various locations of Victorian paper theater, the player solves puzzles and questions, witnesses in the immersive space of Victorian paper theater. So this is a demo, just so you're aware, but I am excited to play this, so let's go ahead and run the game. It's an allergy type of game today. Oh my gosh, the dog's staring at me. Hello, dog. Can you stop staring at me and close your eyes, please? You're looking real creepy over there. It's freaking me out a little bit. It's so cute! Oh my gosh, it's a carrot, and then it's a little paw. That's so cute. The case of a lizard missing somebody. Right. Let's help Mr. White. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And it's like steampunk with the underwater mailbox. I feel like, here. What a delightful day indeed. 'Tis most fitting to spend it beside the fire, cup of steaming English tea in hand. It seems a telegram has arrived. Could this be a new matter to investigate? I must remain composed. I am indeed London's finest detective, so let us not be overly anxious. Well, perhaps a little anxious. My foremost rules to avoid hasty conclusions. If a suspect appears, check all the facts. Look for alibis, and only then do I accuse. And we must frequently consult my diary. Let us now proceed to read the telegram and learn who is in need of our aid. Alright, let's see here. Dear Mr. Henry White, something terrible has happened to my husband, Professor Sturt. He disappeared from home tonight. He has been reported missing. I do not trust the police. My husband thought you were the best detective in London. Please find out where he is gone. You can name any price. I shall pay it. His address is 46A Booknerd Street. Go at once. Mrs. Victoria Sturt. How do I get out of here? Where's my little paw print? Oh, there we go. One may maneuver various objects. Oh, it's a little sheep. It is possible to scrutinize witnesses and other intriguing objects under a magnifying glass, thereby garnering more useful information. Miss Dolly Sleep, the housemaid in this household. Who are you, sir? Your presence scares me. Is Mr. Horvendile Sturt at home? I am here by the commission of Mrs. Sturt. And who might this be? That might be Mr. Horvendile Sturt's wife. Oh, locks! In my fright I quite forgot that the master was wed. Hurry, sir, you gave me a terrible fright. Oh. Miss, I must entreat you to answer a few questions. When did you last see Mr. Sturt? Pray, Miss Sleep, when did you last see Mr. Sturt, excuse me. Oh my. Last night. He went to sleep, sir. I haven't seen him since. Had Mr. Sturt any visitors yesterday? I barely suffer Mr. Sturt. 'Tis a blessing none of his kind were there yesterday. Was Mr. Sturt going anywhere in the night? Nay, sir. With Mr. Sturt gone, his formal skin would not yet hang upon the hanger. Aha! It would appear, then, that something happened to the Professor here, while he was at home. Is there, besides us two, another animal within these walls? Precisely at 9 a.m. some mantis arrived. He showed to me the master's left claw. Can you believe it? The claw, barely inside the door, started to steal our honey. Imagine the nerve! None but the master himself would dare so. How ill-mannered. And did that mantis disclose whence he got the claw? No, sir. He squeezed himself behind the cupboard. There he sat, whimpering and gnawing his forelegs, offering no explanation. Were there other visitors? After the mantis, 2 others arrived. The claw so frightened me I hid behind the hanger and did not see their faces. Are they still within the house? All 3 are somewhere inside, but you shall seek them out yourself. I shan't assist. As you wish, miss. Did Mr. Sturt live alone in this house? Alone indeed. His wife stayed but 2 days after the wedding, then fled. Tell me, Miss Sleep, who might you suspect to be involved in Mr. Sturt's disappearance? Well, I shall tell you. Do you think I read no detective stories, sir? I'm well-read sheep, sir, and know full well that the witness is killed the moment they dare to speak. Our super mechanical intelligent diary automatically reports the most crucial information for the investigation. If such a yellow flag pops up over the diary, it means there is a new entry that we have yet to read. Once we gather enough information, we can solve the mystery of Professor Sturt's disappearance. Before accusing, we must confirm the accused had motive, opportunity, and no alibi. In this affair, opportunity implies access to Mr. Sturt's dwelling or unnoticed abduction. The dog's looking at me like I'm crazy. You must act as both investigator and lawyer, seeking alibis for all suspects, even those we believe guilty. Okay. Right, let's go back. Right, it's obstructed. Oh. What can you tell of Mrs. Victoria Sturt? She stayed with Mr. Sturt for 2 days, then she was off to the Wild Goose District. That stylish area atop the dirigible, sir. I am well acquainted with Wild Goose, ma'am. Living there demands considerable expense. Mrs. Sturt seems not to lack for means. Had you heard her lamenting the costly rent and long journey to her husband? An hour's travel, can you imagine? She visited but once weekly on Thursdays, yet complaining about the distance and her inability to call more frequently. Truly I pity her, Mr. White. What puzzles me, why rent in London's priciest quarter, and so far from her husband? Did you say it takes an hour to travel here? I wasn't privy to that information, sir, nor am I a gossip to stick my nose into everyone's affairs. But to be precise, it takes at least 55 minutes for Mrs. Victoria Sturt to journey from her house to here. Is that all you can relate of Mrs. Sturt? Aye, sir, that ought suffice for you. Thank you, and with your permission I suggest we return to our previous conversation. Oh, look, look, look. See sleeping wolf behind curtain. See sleeping wolf behind curtain. Is a horse missing? Oh. Mrs. Sturt, the police have just released Mr. Quilbert Caleb, who has pledged to refrain from approaching your residence. Indeed, this must be that very mantis about which Miss Sleep has told me. Mr. Tiggywinkle, secretary to Captain Hogg, has assured me on his very head that you may rest easy. Sent by Mrs. Sturt's solicitor named Alpheus III. Curious that it's the captain's secretary who spoke to the solicitor, not Captain Hogg himself. Time sent 8:20, time received 8:25, so at 8:25 Mrs. Sturt was at her home and Mr. Caleb had left the police station at 8:20. But he arrived at the residence at 9. An urgent telegram could be so urgent. No, Mr. Sturt, my son neither fell nor struck his head in childhood. We are mantises of the utmost propriety. Cease your insinuations. To be delivered to the hands of Mr. Hovendale Sturt, personally on Bucknard Street, delivered at 5:25. Time and signature. This is important. Turns out at 5:25 Mr. Sturt was definitely at home and not asleep. A postcard from last Christmas, sender Horace Wolf Hogg. Dear Mr. Sturt, I have the honour to inform you that you yourself are a pompous fool, incapable of playing chess. With all due respect, Mr. Hogg. An original greeting. It seems the missing professor and the police captain were not on the best of terms. Tis locked. Oh. Compose yourself, Mr. White. There's nothing unusual here, just a lizard's tail and body bathing assisted by a limb. Nothing unusual about that. Perhaps. Upon my departure from this place, my first visit shall be to a physician. That's weird indeed. Mrs. Victoria Sturt, we are already acquainted in a manner, though indirectly. It was I who sent the telegram to you. I am gratified that you could spare a moment to respond to my request, Mr. White. Ask your questions, and I shall respond with alacrity. Tell me, Mrs. Sturt, were you in this house when your husband vanished? No, sir. Mr. Sturt and I dwell separately. For long? We separated almost directly after the wedding, Mr. White. It is my obligation to inquire, madame, for what cause? Certainly, sir. We were united by a shared affection for the noble game of chess. Indeed, 'tis a fine thing when spouses share common interests. Agreed, but when, on your wedding night, your husband leads you not to the marital bed but to a chess table, such a marriage is doomed. You have been most frank with me, Mrs. Sturt, and I thank you for your trust. What are you about here behind the paper drapery, Miss Sturt? The same as you, Mr. White, endeavouring to make sense of this affair. Have you unearthed something of interest? Only that Mr. Sturt's tail is enjoying a bath. Yes, I am aware of it, Mrs. Sturt. It strikes me that the tail appears perfectly content and shows no inclination to leave the bath. My husband hated water. What astonishes me to a greater extent is that Mr. Sturt's bodily parts seem perfectly comfortable without his head. Anyone would feel comfortable away from Mr. Sturt's head. It seems his own limbs are no exception. The regenerative capabilities of lizards truly surpass my wildest expectations. I entreat you to explain precisely how you discovered your husband was missing. This morning at 8:55 I found upon my threshold my husband's leg. A living leg, sir. Yes, indeed. It boldly removed its boot, then seized and hid all my correspondence in a sock, and then flatly refused to return it. What an ill-mannered limb the professor possesses, Mrs. Sturt. Utterly unacceptable behaviour. Believe me, my husband in his entirety is scarcely better behaved. I was altogether unaware of the possibility that a limb could exist separately from the body and yet remain animate. They say lizards possess a remarkable ability for regeneration, Mrs. Sturt. My husband proved to be a far more enigmatic animal than I had supposed. I came here to restore his leg unto him, and here I observed his formal skin upon the hanger, yet my husband was nowhere to be seen. Thus did I comprehend that something dreadful had happened. Mr. Sturt would never leave the house without his formal skin. I immediately telegraphed Scotland Yard and yourself, then returned here. Where's Mr. Sturt's leg now? I brought it back here. The last I saw of it, it was behind the laboratory shelves. Indeed, it seems you have here the keys to Mr. Sturt's house. And the three things, either Mr. Sturt for some reason left the house without them, or someone had a spare set, or both. We must find out who else had keys. Whoever holds the keys could commit a crime, though it is still unclear what the nature of the crime might be. Mr. Quilbert Mantus Caleb, at your service, sir. I am employed at the University of Honeyball in the accompanying hospital. Pray, close me back within the cupboard, sir. I am scared. And what, pray tell, has so alarmed you? Ah, sir, this very day Mr. Sturt's claw made its way to the University. It was such a dreadful scene indeed, such a tumult it caused. With your permission, sir, I shall ask a few questions. I would entreat you, sir, to elaborate upon Mr. Sturt's claw with greater detail. Sir, the claw arrived at the University at 8:15 this morning. I was not yet present, but the watchman so informed me, and so the claw made its way. It went straight to the dean's office and attempted to steal her sweets. And where, pray tell, is the claw presently situated? Ah, Mr. White, to my great regret, it remains in good health and is crawling about the house. Are you suggesting that the claw appears to still be alive? Yes, indeed, I'm terrified. How did this claw end up here? I brought it here, Mr. White. Tell me, Mr. Caleb, when last did you encounter Mr. Sturt? On the third day past at our medical faculty, sir. I'm a professor of biology and medicine at the University of Honeyball. Mr. Sturt himself teaches mathematics, yet he often visits our department on various affairs. Did he appear to you as odd that day? Did you speak with him? Sir, with such lizards as Mr. Sturt, one does not speak, one listens. And what indeed did you hear? Mr. Sturt informed me that I am a fool, sir. I'm no expert, but that sounds remarkably like a quarrel, Mr. Caleb. Oh no, sir. Mr. Sturt always communicates in such a manner. You see, Horvendale Sturt is the greatest chess player of our time. Such animals can afford certain eccentricities. Mr. Caleb, might you specify the exact time at which you arrived at the university? Yes, sir, I had arrived at 8:40. Is that your customary time of arrival? No, sir, I usually arrive by 8, as does Mr. Sturt. And why, pray, were you 40 minutes late today? Mr. Caleb? I do not know, sir. It just happened, like that, sir. Be so kind as to secure me once again within the shelf, sir, for it feels somewhat uncomfortable being unclosed. What is that that keeps moving? Oh. Press the weasel holder. What does that mean? Press the weasel holder. Oh. Indeed, what have we here? A letter to the Department of Medicine. My dear fools, especially Mr. Quilbert Caleb Mantis, whom I have the misfortune to call a colleague, you were foolish enough to assert that lizards cannot regenerate new body parts. Well, I know this. I am conducting experiments, the results of which will make you the laughingstock of the entire Honeyball University. Most notably, I don't even hold a degree in biology. It is of no interest to me whatsoever. So much so that I shall not even bother to finish this letter, nor do I intend to send it. I cannot be bothered. Your medicine is not worth the time it would take to walk to the post office. Yours disrespectfully, Mr. Sturt. Curious indeed. Mr. Sturt completed, signed, and addressed the letter, and even affixed the stamps. It hardly seems he had no intention of mailing it. Press the weasel holder. Oh. Where does this go? Oh. No. Back out, back out. No, I don't want to talk to her anymore. Okay. I see what we're doing now. I locked something. All I need to do is pull it down, so I need to find... Oh! This is quite interesting. I wonder what that does. Guessing something else then. Lizards like tea. Ah, go back! Oh my gosh! Holy beetroot, but this Professor Sturt's claw! Stealing his honey! One wonders, how does it intend to consume it? Oh? Turn the gear? It's the only gear I see, though. Can't move over anymore. It says turn the gear. No, I have that. Okay, we're getting a little stuck here. Turn the gear. What gear? Lizards like tea. Oh, there we go. What just happened? Is it this? A telegram from Mr. Hovendal stood from Miss Eleanor Caleb. Oh, no, it's an urgent, it's that urgent telegram. Oh, it says right. But this is Mr. Sturt's right leg. It appears to be in hopes of partaking in tea. I fear you shall find yourself disappointed, dear leg. You possess neither a mouth nor a digestive system. Can I not move this anywhere else? The problem here is there's one more and it's a triangle. No, back out, because there's something here. His left leg seems to be showing interest in anatomy. Oh, I didn't even notice that when it popped out. That's crazy. I wonder if this has to do with anything. Maybe I'll have to, let's see. Okay, so I still have some questions to ask. Nope. Full name, Miss Dolly Sleep, Sheep. Thank you. Okay, so we have a bunch of suspects. What do you know of Mr. Quilbert Caleb? 'Tis the very Mantis who arrived first on this day. He was visited before, has he not? How often would you say? Depends on your meaning of a visit. By invite, Mr. Caleb showed up on Thursdays. If unasked for, Mr. Caleb made such visits near every night. For what purpose? You read some papers in the professor's study. At night? Indeed. Perhaps you might know what exactly he read. I think I watch him, sir. No need at all for that, not at all. But to be precise, he read a tome on chess, 1001 chess errors every self-respecting gentleman should avoid. But how, pray tell, did he manage to enter the house? Sneaking, sir. Through what's the use when the creak of our front door wakes up everyone? The hinges are rusty and require oiling, yet I never find the inclination to address it. I meant, madame, how did he unlock the door? The ram only knows. With keys, I suppose. Have you ever thought to drive Mr. Caleb away? Why should I? Firstly, his sneaking is a complete farce. Moreover, it's wise not to provoke Mr. Caleb needlessly. You'd be amazed how he wails over a chest of feet. Did Mr. Caleb lose often? Mr. Sturt would checkmate him by the 10th move. Then the Mantis would sit, sob, and chew his forelegs. A sorry sight indeed. When did he last come to play chess? A month ago. After losing, he nearly chewed off his own head, then threw a monstrous tantrum. Called himself a fool, beat himself so he flipped the chessboard, and then started eating Mr. Sturt's cactus collection. He pricked himself, yet went on eating. A stubborn beast, that Mantis. Nearly ate all the cacti. Mr. Sturt was so angry about the cacti that he told Mr. Caleb never to return and to forget chess altogether. And Mr. Caleb? He swore he'd face Mr. Sturt, cost what it may, and continued eating cacti. Mark my words, Mr. White, a stubborn mantis indeed. Pray, what do you know about Mr. Hogg? Mr. Hogg plays chess with rare skill. Does he often claim victory over Mr. Sturt? Never, sir. It seems to me he scarcely endeavours, perpetually sleeps while playing. I wonder what nocturnal occupations so thoroughly deprive Mr. Hogg of proper sleep. You see, the sister of my sister's friend, who also happens to be my second cousin once removed, is employed in the household. She disclosed some terribly indecent details about him. Brace yourself, sir. It's quite shocking. So, Mr. Hogg has worms in his own household. Can you imagine such a thing? Why, that is hardly the most grievous misfortune that can befall a gentleman. Consider, how might one's rest knowing one's abode is overrun by rogues who meander, smoke, and cause uproar, and then they invade your bedroom demanding to engage in card games. Thus Mr. Hogg finds his rest at the police station. But why does Mr. Hogg not seek assistance to drive out these gentlemen? Consider not that I have ever had need to seek their aid. Yet other gentlemen told me that such services are provided by exceedingly genteel creatures, who would treat your case with the utmost delicacy. If you seek my opinion, a gentleman who allows himself to get worms in a household is a case quickly settled, either the madhouse or the gallows. Well then, I shall not contend with you, miss. Might I indulge my curiosity? You commonly spend the night in this dwelling? Yes, sir. Am I then to understand that you also spent the past night here? Nay, sir, you are mistaken. Could you be so kind as to elaborate on your whereabouts the previous night? Perhaps, if you'd ask properly. When you arrived, was the door closed? Aye, sir. And did you secure it behind you? As I returned at morning from the hospital, Oh dear, my head's full of wool. I mean, of course, sir, I fastened it. I am a sheep of propriety and always secure the door. And in truth, no. Pray tell, Miss Sleep, where were you on the yesternight? What's it to ye? I'm a decent sheep, sir. I harbour no doubts as to the purity of your conscience, and you have nothing to conceal from the inquiry, Miss Sheep. At 11 I went to my sister at Honeyball Hospital. I was told the stork would deliver a child there. Imagine the audacity of the stork, choosing not to deliver directly to one's home. What insolence! Indeed, 'twas a most unseemly act on his part. And the volume at which my sister had to summon him, had you but known, it could be heard clear across London. Pray, Miss Sleep, do you recognize these keys hanging on the wall behind the portrait? Those must be the keys of Professor Sturt, Mr. White. Does Mr. Sturt possess a spare set of keys? I do. Are they presently with you? Yes, sir, I carry them in such a manner that, were they lost, it would be painfully obvious. I'm a proper lady, in case you hadn't noticed. Had anyone else access to the keys? Perhaps Mrs. Sturt, Mr. Sturt's wife, but I know not. You should ask her. I thank you, and with your permission I suggest we return to our previous conversation. Okay. Nope, those are all the questions. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice! Allow me to pose a few inquiries, Mr. Hogg. Only make it quick. I was hoping to finish my nap. How long have you been sitting here, Mr. Hogg? Mr. Sturt summoned me to him. Mr. Sturt summoned you himself. This is of utmost importance, for he has gone missing this very night. Could you describe exactly how he did so? Oh, 'tis truly a tale most intriguing. You see, Mr. Sturt's leg did crawl its way to my office at Scotland Yard. What? But you need not worry, Mr. White. It was evident that it came in peace. Upon arriving in my office, it immediately started reading my anatomy books. Agreed, it is indeed an eccentric manner to invite me over. Far simpler it would have been to send a telegram. But Mr. Sturt is quite the original. It is very much in his character. Are you suggesting that Professor Sturt has pulled similar stunts before? Something of the sort, sir. And you knew about this? Indeed, yes. Have you told anyone else about this before? What's so special about it? After all, Mr. Sturt is a lizard. Where might Mr. Sturt's leg be found now? I returned it home, sir. Look behind the blackboard, which we did. Turn the poster with the lizard image. It seems to like anything related to anatomy. Tell me, Mr. Hogg, did you declare Mr. Sturt missing? What? Are you aware that Mr. Sturt has disappeared? Even if he has disappeared, it's only partially, sir, and I assure you the missing parts will surely be found soon. Well, your optimism is indeed reassuring. Did someone approach the police concerning Mr. Sturt? Yes, an urgent telegram regarding Mr. Sturt's address was delivered to our station. What did you do with it? The same as we do with all urgent telegrams. We put it off until tomorrow, sir. It seems that is the very telegram Mr. Sturt sent to Scotland Yard today. Tell me, Mr. Hogg, do you suspect anyone? Perhaps Mr. Sturt had enemies. Had he complained about any colleague or friend? Can you recall? Easier to recall those Mr. Sturt did not complain about. Did Mr. Sturt complain about anyone more frequently than others? He chided Mr. Caleb for invariably advancing his queen prematurely and then losing it as if he were a spring chicken. Caleb, is that Quilbert Mantis Caleb of the medical family at the University of Honeyball? Yes. Between us, he is remarkably inept at chess. Mr. Sturt also berated his wife for refusing to fulfill her marital duties. Oh, what an awkward conversation. The terms of the matrimonial contract stipulated that Mrs. Sturt was to play chess with Mr. Sturt every Thursday. Ah, that duty, I see. As far as I understand, Mrs. Sturt is a rather gifted player and often defeated her husband. What curious relations they share. I have no further questions, thank you. Do cover me with the newspaper again, if you please, that I might continue my sleep. Ah, turn the gear! Here it is! I can't reach far enough, it needs to go down farther. I can move the bookcase. Let's see. Oh! What have we here? An instruction from Miss Dolly Sleep to convey this complaint to the constabulary. Dear Constabulary, I must report my maid, Miss Dolly Sleep, for not bringing my breakfast at 7:30 a.m. today. At 8 I am to depart for work. How shall I go to my university? How, pray tell, am I to gather myself together in the morning without breakfast? My claw, look, has already taken offence at me and crawled away to seek its own sustenance. Date today. It seems Miss Dolly Sleep chose not to carry this complaint about herself to the police and instead hid it away. I can guess why. These all look... exact time of Mr. Sturt's disappearance, who's responsible, who's my prime suspect. Okay, so I do have to go in here and... Okay. And then Miss Dolly sleep. She's a creature of moods. Other than found under cabbage leaves. Show nephews that I know not. Okay. To my profound regret. Once liked him. He's a poor chess player, often scolded by my husband. He begged me to lend him one of my gowns. Oh. Okay, so Mr. Caleb was picked up and he spent the night in the police station. So she met him before. You play with Mr. Caleb on Wednesdays. Go to Mr. Hogg. Okay, so he left. She left at 9 in the morning. He's still sleeping in the armchair. Okay, we know that it takes about an hour's time. 10 a.m. When you arrived here today, you opened. No soul. The door stood wide open. Okay, so the door was open when she got there. Okay, at home I remained, and were you alone? If you're looking for witnesses, I'm afraid I have none to confirm. I did receive 2 telegrams, but they seem to have vanished. Oh, so she lost the keys. Wednesday. Okay, so They were her keys. She threw the keys at the dude, and oh, my bad. Down we go. We're gonna talk to this guy again. Might be Mr. Caleb. He has a lot of evidence against him, unfortunately. It was on a Wednesday as well. Okay. Okay, so he saw her at the hospital. He ate the sauerkraut she made. Okay. Oh boy, he's crying. Okay. Quilbert Caleb, the Mantis, Professor of Medicine at the University of Honeyball, surgeon. Okay. Okay, so apparently this guy's super sleepy. Okay, corroborating the worm story. Oh. Dude. Oh my gosh. Seth. Dude, I could smell that from all the way over here. Dude, I know you farted. Are you sleep farting over there? Are you sleep farting? Oh my gosh, dude, that smells so bad. Oh my gosh. You. That's a lie. That's a lie and a half. You stink up the whole room. That's why I looked at you. Terrible. What happened? No, I want to hear this. Okay. Getting some stories.
I farted on the table and it like reverberated off the table and was extremely loud. How long do you think it lasted for? 3 to 4 seconds? 20, 30 seconds.
I think you told me about that one.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I had to do it. I had to come out one way or the other. Alright. The door. Was hoping for him as well. Oh? He's shady, man. Like, not answering questions. Yeah, why is he admitting that he knows what they are? And I was like, nah, that's the first time I've seen them. This guy's shicey. Yeah, we're gonna have one more conversation, bucko. On every weekday evening. Every weekday evening? Oh my gosh. Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. She embodies London's essence. Okay. Okay. Not much on her from him. Oh, everything. And who might that be? Oh? He doesn't remember, huh? Oh, is it? So headless, it constantly bumps into walls. That was an interesting conversation for sure. Okay. We already did ask her. This guy's too sleepy, can't remember anything. As usual, 10:30. Mr. Sturt had summoned me and I headed there. $20. Possibly. Myself. Oh. Okay. The alibi is not looking so good. He's also saying the door was opened. Everyone except Dolly has said that the door was open when they got there. Do not speak nonsense. He doesn't remember. He sent himself. They are of metal. Huh. Interesting. Alright, we went through all of those. Okay, well here's Mr. Sturt. Oops. Could I talk to Mr. Sturt? Oops. Up we go. Away you go. My bad. Here. Oh! Here he is. Oh. The main part of my task is accomplished. I found you, and indeed I have found you completely, though it was not easy, given that your nimble limbs had scattered throughout the house. Let's see. Oh boy. First, we must ascertain the exact moment Mr. Sturt disappeared. I want to say it was in the morning. I just don't know if it was 8 or 9. Can I go back to here? She... 55. I want to say it was 8. At 10:30, it takes 20 minutes to get from... I think 8 would be pertinent. How do I get out of here? Oh, sorry, my bad. Oh, sweet! I got it right. Okay. Should now point out the culprit. I want to say it was her actually. She did not lock the door behind her. Because she didn't serve him breakfast? Unintentionally. Yes. Neglect your university duties. I need to write my book. I decided to detach my head, thus permitting it to work peacefully while my foolish headless body sleeps. Are you acquainted with the concept of self-care? I not have thought to look for my husband in his own office, though now I see it's the most logical thing in the world. I certainly never imagined that my husband was capable of shedding body parts. Rivendell. I'm prepared to double your fee if you demonstrate your competence and provide the alibis of all the witnesses. Sure. Yes. Quilbert was incarcerated. Where's his thing? At night, Trudy's chest. Because today is Thursday. Yeah, he probably wanted to impersonate Mrs. Sturt so he could play. Yes. Yeah. Dressing in drag to play some chess. At 8 a.m. Let's see where he is. Oh, so he arrived at her house at 1, and that's an hour away. Oh, she left her house at 9 while he was still asleep. Yeah, he was asleep at her house. She's asleep all night. Yep. Yep. Mr. Hogg has worms. She was at the hospital at the time. Can confirm her presence. She returned at 8. Yeah, she failed to serve breakfast, which is why he's here. It's all quite simple. I believe that Mr. Sturt's body... Yeah, So we're shed his body to work at night. Yep. He did not receive his breakfast, and that's why. Indeed, that's a pity. Yay! Out of infinity. Oh, well, okay. At least I got double fee. That's nice. Deductive reasoning based upon... I thought I did well, though. No thanks. Yay, we figured it out! That was a cute one. I like the premise of it, and I think it was really simple but really fun for how simple it was. Like, there was a decent amount to figure out. There was I guess a little bit of a logical leap in regards to it unintentionally being the sheep, but I don't know, sometimes you have to take those risks. Oh well. Alright, well, thanks for joining me for this one. Again, this was a demo. I don't quite know if the full thing is out yet. Actually, I would think there would be. It looked like there were other mysteries to solve. That was just the first one. But we were able to get through it. Again, a lot of fun. Worth a check out, I think. Those of you on YouTube, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Straub out.